And looking forward to maybe one day you'll come and visit us down here and we can see you in person, because we are getting to know you more and more as people with whom we communicate online. But God willing, one of these days it will be face to face. So today I wanted to speak about a set of products that we have, which help us to help people who have got one of the #1 killers that have been recognized in the world, and that is heart cardiovascular diseases. That is the diseases to do with the heart and the blood and blood vessels. So to start with, of course, as usual, you know that our products are supplements, which means they are supposed to supplement what we are already doing in other aspects of our lives. So our lifestyles should change. And in addition to that, the products help us to our products are like a bridge that help us to get from where we are to where we need to be. So in the matter of heart and blood health, which is my topic for today, I wanted to say first of all that our heart health begins in our mind or in our brains with the knowledge that we acquire about how to maintain the health of our heart, our blood, and our blood vessels, because all these form one system. The second place where the heart health begins is in our thought processes, because remember that the health of our heart also depends on what is going on in our minds. We need to manage our stress. We need to manage our emotional states. For example, things like anger, anxiety, fear, and such things play a role in the health of our hearts. So when we think about heart health, before we go to other things, we need to accumulate the knowledge about what is in our power to do, and second, to manage our mental and thought processes. Okay, so having said that, the next thing I wanted to mention is some of the things that can help in terms of our lifestyle to maintain our heart health. Because remember, our aim here, although many times we speak about the diseases that we can help, a better thing still is to maintain health, because I think in almost every African language and many other languages, there's a saying about prevention being better than cure. In my own mother tongue, the Luo, they say that preparing ahead is better than going to the witch doctor or to the medicine man. So our aim here is, apart from the knowledge about our products, is also knowledge about the lifestyle activities and habits that can help us to maintain our health. So I wanted to start with those ones. And some of the things that help to support our heart and blood health is the diet that we eat. We need to eat a diet that is rich in certain foods, especially fresh vegetables and some fruit. The fresh vegetables, and especially the bitter ones. So I'm thinking here about things like osuga and no, I'm not thinking about potatoes, because sometimes people say potato chips are also a vegetable. No, we are not talking about that kind of vegetable. I'm talking about green, fresh vegetables that have got the health-giving pigmented foods that we know about. So these play an important role. And another thing is to reduce the refined carbohydrates in our diet, especially refined grains. These are at the bottom of some of the problems that form the base of problems to do with our hearts and our blood. So rather than go for white bread and white flour and cakes and biscuits, we need to opt for things like sweet potatoes, cassavas, yams, arrowroots, and so on. These are a good alternative. And in many parts of Africa, these foods are quite still available. So I think we should take advantage, take advantage of their availability and use them as the preferred source of carbohydrates rather than opting for the grains, which tend to be refined and bleached and tend to lead towards diabetes and such like problems. So then the next thing that, another thing, the habit that we can have is to get into the habit of eating fish, maybe once or 2 times a week at least. If you don't like fish very much, then maybe then you would opt for a supplement. And as mentioned, the Neolife supplement that can play a role there. But also availability might be a problem. But if for you, like the people who come from around the shores of the lake or the Indian Ocean, and also where it's transport of fish is possible, it's always encouraged that fish should form at least one of our meals in the week or more. Then another item that plays an important role in the heart and blood health is an active lifestyle. So here, once again, as I always say, even if you can join a gym, well and good, but that is not absolutely necessary. You can find other ways of increasing activity in your life by walking more, doing your own chores, and so on. So increasing activity in your lifestyle also plays an important role, because through exercise, we exercise our hearts. So if you go for a brisk walk around your estate and you start breathing strongly, that your breath is quick, then at that time you're giving your heart some exercise. And the more you get in the habit of doing it, the more your heart is able to beat more efficiently. Then the last thing I'll mention, of course, there are many things, but for the sake of time, I just took these 4. The last thing I want to mention is to plan your sleep. I think I've mentioned before that you should set an alarm to wake up on time, but you should also set another alarm to go to bed on time. So you know when you want to go to bed, you set an alarm maybe half an hour or a quarter of an hour before your bedtime, so that you know you need to be finishing off what you're doing and getting ready to go to bed. So those are some of the things that we can do to support our heart health. There are more, of course, and in the course of time, of course, we shall mention them. But I wanted, in addition to the things we should do, I want to mention a few things that we should avoid. And I might repeat myself here, but I think it's okay. One of the things that there are certain foods that maybe this year it can be our resolution to eliminate from our life. This is sugar. Sugar is one of the most harmful substances that we have. And so, of course, because it tastes nice and it's in very many parts of our life, what we need to do is work towards reducing the amount that we take. So wherever you can reduce, you may decide to eliminate sugary drinks like sodas and so on, or you might decide to start reducing the amount of sugar you take in your tea, because I know in East Africa, we love our tea. And even when we leave East Africa, we still love our tea. I think I'm the only East African who doesn't like tea. But we can reduce the amount of sugar we take. Some people have the good habit of taking their tea without sugar, because tea is beneficial. But when we add sugar to it, we cancel out the benefit that it would be giving us. So sugar is one. Junk food, I know that sometimes we have a busy lifestyle and we may be tempted to eat junk food, but rather to get into the habit of making this a rare event rather than habitual events. Another thing I mentioned in the previous point, we should avoid refined carbohydrates, especially the grains which have been processed, because these foods, the sugar, the junk food, and the refined grains are the ones that give us the big belly. Of course, in addition to beer and alcoholic drinks, these are the ones that tend to make our bellies big. Of course, it makes us not look as good as we can look. It makes our clothes not fit as well as they can fit. But that is only on the outside. On the inside, it is working towards the dangerous illnesses that are the #1 killers in the world: the diabetes, the high blood pressures, the heart failures. When you see that your waistline is beginning to thicken, it is time to take measures to deal with that so that you remove it. Many problems follow when our waistline begins to be big. It's not just that we have to buy bigger clothes. There are a lot of health problems that are related to that thickening of the waist. So that is the first one. Another thing to avoid will be a sedentary lifestyle. So when I speak about junk food, is all of the fried things like the fried chips and or crisps and all these things that you find which are fried in fat. Rather, we should cook our meals at home whenever possible. So just to mention that, but the second thing I wanted to mention is to avoid a sedentary lifestyle. That is a lifestyle where you move very little. And of course, depending on what kind of work we do and our situation in life, we may find that we have to deliberately increase the amount of activity in our life. So even if it's only a little, we were meant to be moving creatures. And sitting for many hours is very damaging to our health. So that is another thing to attend to for the sake of our hearts. And then there are some habits that are harmful. For example, smoking is quite harmful. And because it constricts the blood vessels, which means that it's going to worsen the blood pressure. And at the same time, it depletes some of the useful vitamins that we should be using for other things in our bodies. As a result of our body having to deal with the effects of smoking, these vitamins are depleted. And which means that if you're taking the vitamins and smoking, you are canceling out the overall benefits that you would be getting from your supplements. Then let us look at what Neolife can help us with in our heart health. So there are a number of products I'll mention, maybe about 4 or 5. The first one is quite familiar to us. This is the omega-3 salmon oil, which is known to prevent the formation of plaque and the adherence of the plaque to our blood vessels. So plaque is sort of like a thick material that sticks to the inner side of our blood vessels, which makes them become narrow. And when they become narrow, then it means that the heart has to beat harder to send the blood to the different parts of our body. So omega-3 salmon oils plays an important role in cleaning up, keeping our blood vessels clean, and thereby lowering our blood pressure. The second product is Lipotropic Adjunct, which helps to prevent the accumulation of fat in the blood, because that accumulation of fat also leads to thickening of the blood so that the blood doesn't flow as easily, which means the heart has to work harder. And in addition to that, it also prevents the formation of plaque. So Lipotropic Adjunct also works in supporting the quality of our blood and the quality of our blood vessels by preventing the formation of plaque. The third product is garlic allium complex, which helps to also, once again, prevent the formation of plaque and prevents also the blood pressure from getting higher in different ways. So each of these products, you'll find, I'm saying they do the same thing, but they do it from different angles. That is why we speak of them as a combination, because they support each other, attacking the problem from different aspects. So garlic allium also has a role to play in preventing the formation of plaque and in keeping the blood vessels clear so that the blood can flow easily. And it also plays a role in the way the heart works so that it lowers the blood pressure. Then the fourth product, this one is not available here in Southern Africa, sorry to say, but where it is available, coenzyme Q10 helps to reduce the incidence of heart failure. Because as we have high blood pressure, we have the thickening of the blood vessels. All this works towards the failure of the heart. So while the products, the 3 products I spoke about before, work towards the maintenance of the thinness of the blood and the clarity of the blood vessels, coenzyme Q10 works more towards strengthening the heart muscles and helping to reduce the chances of having a heart attack or your heart failing in the event that your heart is in trouble as a result of poor heart health. Then the final product we have here is vitamin C, which currently I think is a product that we are taking a lot of because of the prevention of COVID. But vitamin C is very, very important in repairing damaged tissues. And so if there is some damage that has occurred in our blood vessels as a result of the formation of plaque, and the deposits of other harmful substances in them, then vitamin C will play an important role in repairing our blood vessels so that they are in good condition. And so we should take it as part of the heart health. So if, of course, the more products we take and the more lifestyle things we do, the better our heart health will be. But I think if we take those 5 products that I've mentioned, they would make a good combination for maintaining good heart and blood health and helping those who already have certain of the problem symptoms like high blood pressure, like high cholesterol, and all these markers that tell you that things are not okay in terms of the heart health and the blood health. Then I have a few minutes left in which I wanted to answer 1 or 2 questions, because there's a question that I've been receiving periodically. The question is about collagen. I think that there are people who are asking, why does Neolife not have a collagen supplement? Because it's one of these, currently, if you go on the internet, there is a lot of certain products come and then they are everywhere on the internet, and people, the claims about their magical effects are so much that people wonder, why is Neolife not supplying us with this current product that everyone is talking about? And I can recommend to you an article written by Dr. John Miller, which talks about this. But just I'll just speak a little bit about it. If you want to know more, you can look for that article online, you'll find it. So collagen supplements are there and they're available and they are not harmful. They are beneficial. Most of them are beneficial. They are derived from bones and skin and other connective tissue. These are usually things you'll find in our diet. Of course, these days we have become very westernized. So when we eat our chicken, we don't boil the feet and we don't boil it with the head. But those people of around my generation, when we are making our chicken, we make the whole chicken. It would have the head, the feet, the skin. But we remove the feathers, but we retain the skin. But you know that some people now remove even the skin of the chicken or the skin of the fish. When you eat your chicken, you don't chew on the bones. This used to be something as children. In fact, I am the last born in my family. And in my language, the last born is called the bone, which means that all the bones in the house would be given to me. I would be chewing on bones, which means I got quite a bit of collagen. But just to say that those items actually are beneficial. If we are stewing the chicken, I think it's a good thing to clean all these things and include them there, because then they enrich the food, with the meat with the collagen that is supposed to be there. And so then another way in which they provide the collagen is through bone broth. So they boil the bones of cattle or sheep or any animal really, and the connective tissue goes into the broth. And that is why many cultures, many African cultures, Asian cultures, and other cultures had the habit of boiling bones and drinking the broth that comes from the bones, because it has been known to have benefits. So the benefit was actually because the broth would have collagen. So that is just to emphasize that collagen is actually beneficial. And to look at the whole question of collagen supplementation is to understand that collagen is a protein, just like the other proteins like meat or anything that we eat that is a protein. So when it gets into our body, we don't absorb it as collagen. The body breaks it down into amino acids. And then the amino acids are used by our bodies to make its own collagen. So let us say I take chicken broth, which has got chicken collagen. My body is not going to absorb it as collagen. It's going to break it down into amino acid and then make human collagen for me. Which means even if I take the collagen supplement, it still has to be digested and broken up into amino acids. And then my body will allocate some of those amino acids to build up the collagen. Whether the amino acids are used to make collagen or other things like my teeth, my hair, whatever, or my muscles, is up to the body. And it's also up to my race or my genetics. Because for example, African people have more collagen in their tissues. That is why our skin tends not to wrinkle very quickly. Whereas Caucasian people tend to have less collagen in their skin. So you see that they may have more wrinkles at the same age. A white woman and an African woman may have, you may notice that the African woman has got a skin that is in better condition. So that is not something you can do anything about, because it is your DNA that is going to decide it. That is why, as Neolife, we provide the Neolife shakes, the protein preparations, whether it is Neolife shake, NutriShake, protein powder for sports. All these are protein preparation, and they contain all the amino acids that we are supposed to get from our diet. And that means our bodies, as a result of taking the different protein preparations that Neolife has, is able to make all the collagen that is needed to maintain our hair, our skin, our muscles, all these different body parts. And that is why it is not necessary for Neolife to add collagen to the range, because we already have everything that we need to make our own collagen. So the mistake that people make here is thinking that the more collagen you take in your food or supplement, the more collagen you are going to make. That is not a one-on-one equal thing. Your body is going to decide. If you take plenty of bone broth or collagen supplements, yes, you will have everything you need to make the collagen, but it's up to the body to decide what it's going to do. So another thing that, just to mention in finishing here, is that one of the things that can happen, that we see that our hair or our skin or muscles get in poor condition as we grow older, is that we need vitamin C in order for the body to repair the collagen as it breaks down in our bodies. So it may be that we are taking collagen, but we are not taking vitamin C, which means that as the collagen breaks down, the body is not able to repair it. So you can see that with the knowledge that we are given in Neolife, and with the supplements that we get, and the knowledge about how the different supplements work together, we are quite safe, and we do not need to keep on asking, why don't we have this new product that we've seen online? Why don't we have the other one? Because our scientific advisory board is at work finding out about all these things and the best way to introduce them, or if we already have them, they do not bring more of it in the market just because it's the current craze that people have online. So an interesting point to note here is that one of the ways in which the body absorbs collagen is through the kind of activity that you do. So for example, if you are a person who jumps rope with a skipping rope or jumps on a trampoline, that movement helps the tendons and the ligaments to absorb more collagen. So remember, even if the collagen is in the blood, if it's not getting absorbed into the tendons and the ligaments and the joints, then it's just going to circulate and go back in the system and to be used elsewhere. So this is why knowing things like activity and the role it plays in our joints and skeletal health is important. So for that reason, I hope you understand that Neolife does not need to add collagen to its range of products, because we already have several protein preparations. We have the Neolife shake, we have the NutriShake, we have the protein powder. All these play an important role, of course, on top of which we have got the vitamin C and the full motion. All these help to make sure that our skeletons and our hair and nails and teeth are all well supplemented, and our body has everything it needs to keep them in good condition. Okay, tonight we are having the recognition, therefore I want to stop there and